Welcome back, guys. It's season 2 of M&M Talks. It's your girl Malunga.
And it's your girl Mwila.
Yes, and we are the Everyday People podcast.
Make sure you like, share, comment and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening on any other audio channels, make sure you leave us a comment. That would be really helpful to us.
Yes, and hit the notification bell.
Don't forget.
How are you?
I'm good, babes. But
Yeah.
do you know what? I just wanted to dive straight in and get your ick of the week.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a very good one for me. Well, very good one. I mean, for me, I've had a few icks. I would just say when people don't, like when you can sense that the energy's off, but somebody doesn't really share like what the issue is.
Okay.
You know, so you can see that they're just like moving and acting a certain way, but they don't really share what the issue is. And you're left to kind of figure it out like it's a mystery to solve. And you end up just like, I guess, thinking about that person too much because you're trying to figure out what's wrong, but they're not saying it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you ask?
No. But I can sense it. And I'm like, you know.
So when it's, okay, given a scenario.
It's just more like, no, because I don't want to.
Put them on blast?
I don't want to put them on blast, really.
Okay.
But it's more, what I realise in that kind of situation is it is good to just say something. Like, if you feel like something's a bit off, or sometimes it could be you. Like, this week has definitely been up and down for me. But it's, sometimes I'm more sensitive and I'm sensitive to energy. And sometimes I just feel a certain way and I'm like, is it that person or is it me? But speaking about it and just being like, is everything good?
It's
like,
good, yeah.
Are you all right? Or is there, you know, I think helps.
Do you know what? I feel like asking is always good as well, because for me, I've been in situations like that before, and I feel like, is it me? What is the situation? And when you ask, sometimes it's like not even what you think it is.
Yeah.
And the person is like not even aware that they're feeling that person was getting what you're receiving.
Yeah.
So it's like it was a misdirect of a, you know.
Yeah, and I think when you're getting to know new people, it can be like that. So for me, this person, like, I don't fully know.
Okay.
So I guess I'm just trying to work out. It's not you. It's not you, babe. Don't worry.
No, joking. But it's someone you're trying to get to know.
Yeah, like we kind of have to work together in some way. So we're not necessarily close, but we have to come together and work together. And you just don't want that. Like if you're all working towards the same goal, you never want there to be like a funny energy and not to address it, because you're going to see that person again anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
But long story short, I did talk to them, and I actually talked to them today.
Oh, okay.
So,
And was there resolution? Was it?
Yeah, it was all in my mind. I'm joking, it wasn't all in my mind. It wasn't all in my mind, but no, they just said like, it's absolutely fine. Like, I think like it was basically like a misunderstanding, but it was actually fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't that deep. So, but I'm glad we talked about it a little bit, because then we were all good to go.
Yeah.
And, so yeah.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like that you guys addressed the situation and that, you know, you came to a resolve in the end. But I get it. That isn't it. They haven't been in that situation where you feel like you're not quite sure whether you should ask, whether not to ask, but you can feel the tension. It's not a nice situation. Yeah.
What about you? What's been your ick of the week?
What has been my ick? Which one can I choose? Okay. Okay. So mine is like a lack of clarity, essentially. So like I feel like when and I do it myself sometimes, it's kind of similar to yours in that sense, but I feel like when I'm like having conversations or I'm getting to know someone and they say something and it's not clear, I think to myself like, what I like to know where I stand at all times, essentially. And if I don't know where I stand, I kind of feel like I start guessing. And for me, I start becoming like delusional into I'm a child of delusion.
You know what? It's not a bad place to live sometimes. Delusion.
So I
like,
got paper delusion on my side.
So delusional, like, what do you start doing? Like,
I start thinking like, yeah, this is, you know, a good situation, or it could be like I'll think it's like a good situation, and it's not what they're actually giving me, but I'm too nervous to ask.
Do you have a scenario? we might get into it later, but
maybe later. But like, yeah, there is some scenarios. There are some scenarios where I've done that before, where I'm just like not that clear about how I feel, but yeah, like no, I'm clear about how I feel, but they're not that clear about how they feel, and I'm just a bit like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit with like believing whatever it is, the fantasy.
Yeah, no, fair. Like sometimes when someone says something, it's just easier because then you're like, you know, they might say, oh, I really like you, I'm really feeling you, whatever. And then you're kind of like, clear. Okay, you know that person is finding you attractive, they like you. But if something's not really said, you do have to kind of work it out. And I know sometimes people can be like, oh, but why do you need that validation? Like, why do you need to say?
Do you know what? Some people say, if there's nothing been said, then it means no.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That's what a lot of people say. So I was thinking to myself, but then also people do say about validation as well.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm like, I'll be delusional.
But then, if there's nothing, but if you like, let's say you have a crush, right?
Okay.
I'm just wondering, are you one of those people that avoids your crush though? Because some people genuinely do that. Both. Like if they like someone, you might not know because they actually do really, like they're really good at actually just avoiding you and being a little bit more, because they don't want to give it away maybe, or because it can be too much.
I'm either super avoidant or super impulsive.
Intense. Oh, we love that.
You talk about being intense all the time. I'm not intense, guys.
I was saying Mila is intense. When we were on our way here on the train, Mila was like, yeah, hold my eyelashes, hold this, hold that. And I was like,
no. You're not going to do that to me.
No, you're not going to put me on blast.
You asked me if I would like you to hold. You were like, do you want me to hold anything of yours? I said, yeah.
It's true, actually. You did. But then I was like, oh, do you want me to hold your mirror? Like, no.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. It's true. I do like the control. It's true.
And then it was just funny though, like even getting the train here, and I was so
so guys, imagine
we've got to share the story.
I know. We're on the way here to the studio, and we're in two different spaces. Like I'm thinking to myself, like I haven't got that much time. I've got maybe like 10 minutes to get on this train, and to me that's nothing. I'm in the shop and I'm thinking, I'm looking a bit of a mess, like a bit crazy.
The bags are bagging, everything.
I'm like
everything
trying to do things quickly, so I can go and rush onto the train. I look to my right and I see Malunga. I don't even see her. I sense this like energy of calmness by me, and I said, Malunga. I'm thinking to myself, why is she so calm? This girl is like.
I was literally just like this.
If you're listening to it visually, she was like the visuals, like honestly, like she was just giving like very relaxed, and I love it. You were trusting the time.
I was trusting the time.
You were trusting the moment.
The universe, the moment. And I was in my own world. Like, I was just feeling super serene. But then our energies were so different because even the way you called my name, it's like, Malunga, like, is that you?
Yeah, it's like, why are you so chilled at this time?
I know. And you're like, we've only got a few minutes.
We've got 10 minutes. And I was just like, no, we've got 7 minutes. Now 3 minutes have passed.
And we did have to actually rush for the train.
We ran.
we did have to run for it. Like, but we are here. We made it.
We made it.
We made it. We feel good. You look lovely.
Thank you.
Well.
So do you.
I love the purple.
So do you.
I love that you make an effort for me.
I do. It's just for you. It's just for your eyes.
Is it just for me?
It is. But yeah, today I wanted to actually ask you, because I know that like you've been going through like some change as well, and like especially with like, I know we spoke about like your faith and things like that, but then also just in general in life, and like what we wanted to really talk about was like change and evolving and growing. And is that something that you feel like you're comfortable on a scale of 1 to 10? Where are you at when it comes to change?
Oh,
are you and adapting to change? Like, where are you at with that?
I used to think I liked change, and I used to think that I was very good at adapting. In the moment, if I have to, then it's like, you know, the adrenaline, I'm just like, okay, let me just adapt to what's going on. But ultimately, I do like things to feel quite stable and not change too much, because it just makes me feel like more confident and comfortable, and just, yeah, like I'm realizing that change is quite hard. It's not easy, but being in a place of comfort, it just doesn't always help you grow.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, it's interesting that you said that it brings that comfort, because it does. Like, when you know the routine, what's going to happen, you can almost predict how things are going to play out. It does give a comfortability, and sometimes you create those moments to create that comfortability. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes, like, even for me, like, I might play out a scenario, or I know something's going to happen and I play it out in my mind just so that I can feel comfortable. If it happens that way, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Yeah. But it allows me to go into that situation feeling a bit more kind of like comfortable in that scenario.
Yeah. Do you feel like change is something that you've had to navigate recently as well?
Yeah, like, it's interesting because I am the opposite to you. So I feel like I used to hate change. I used to hate it so much, and some part of me still doesn't like it as much. But when I say I used to hate change, I used to think to myself, oh my God,
why?
Yeah, like, and it was almost the fear of losing situations. I think it was more for me. So, like, if there was like a change, say for instance, I'm in an environment, not that I hadn't moved when I was younger, but like, if you're going to a new environment, I felt like I'm leaving what I had that was comfortable around me and created stability for me. And so, like, I'm now moving into a space where it's like, it's one, uncomfortable, and then I'm also having to find the stability in myself rather than relying on what's around me. And like, recently I'm changing into like a new job situation,
new positions in the job.
It's not a rise, it's not a, but it's still something different and good skills and something that's going to help me grow, essentially. And I feel like I've had to actually, one thing that helped me change more, or like adjust to change more, was when I was waitressing.
Okay.
Interestingly, back in them days. Back in them days when I used to be a waitress.
What was that like?
I was waitressing for an agency, but worse. I wasn't in the same place all the time. I was like always on, like, I was going to different events, different like hotels, wherever, you name it, I was there with my apron and plates offering food. And I think because on that job, I never knew, like, when I was applying, I knew, okay, I'm going to be applying for that. But I'd apply for like multiple things. And sometimes things would change last minute. Like, we need to go to this place, or I'm going to that location. But I would always plan beforehand what I need to do, what I need to bring, so I'm prepared. But essentially, I was always going to be with new people, new managers, new situation, a new layout.
And you just have to adapt.
I just have to adapt. And it was like, I didn't realize it at the time, but it actually did help me in my now moments of like thinking, okay, something's going to change. I've adapted to it before in the past. I'm going to be able to adapt to it now. And so that's really helped me kind of find that space of like safety for myself. It is about finding that like breeze in yourself.
And trusting that it's going to be fine. Like, even though things are changing, it's for the better. Like, you have to just believe in your future and trust that, like, even if it feels a bit difficult in that moment, that you're sowing those seeds and like you're working towards something that is going to benefit you in the long run.
Yeah, it's true. And it's like for you, for instance, like you've said about like wanting to move to a different country for work and things like that. And so like even knowing and preparing for yourself, so like having changes now would help you prepare for that in the future.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if I want to do that anymore, girl. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, since when?
You never updated me on this. What do you mean?
It's so funny. Like, what I'm actually deep in is the way sometimes, like, even when we're going into... You're like, but you said that you wanted to change. You know, when we're talking about like the settings and stuff. You're like, but you told me that I was proper looking and researching for a new place, and then anyways, what were we saying again?
You were saying about you don't want to move anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure.
What? Why?
I'm just not sure.
Is it a fear, or is it like you've researched into the space where you wanted to move to, and you're thinking that's not where? Or is there something holding you down here? Is there someone keeping you?
What, is there like a bae?
Yeah.
Like, is there a bae holding me down or something? Really?
What is it?
No, there's not. You know, bayless. is the word, which is okay.
Yeah,
I've
that's
got
okay.
You,
yes.
And you've got me.
Yes.
I just, I'm just not sure. I want to look into a bit more. I want to research a little bit more. And I want to go out there with purpose. Like if I am going to move to a completely different country, I want to have a true intention and purpose behind it.
Okay.
I think sometimes it's very easy to want to up and leave from, from situations, or maybe you feel like, because maybe, I think at the time, maybe I was thinking, it's just a bit boring here. Like there's not much, there's things that I've seen and done in London and whatever. And it's
your goal has shifted maybe.
Yeah. I think my goals have shifted a little bit, and I'm just realizing that there's so much to be done, and there's so much that is filling me with so much joy.
Yeah.
And the idea of actually just upping and leaving to another country is... It's kind of like unnecessary right now. I don't feel that same urge. So yeah, it's interesting how things can like shift in you all of a sudden. Like
it's so interesting.
It
I'm
is.
looking at you now and I'm thinking, wow, who are you?
What identity is this? Who are you?
Next time you'll be like, I'm moving.
Yeah, guys, I'm off to Mexico.
I know. She'll
Not
be like,
even
I'm going.
the US.
Like,
I'm just going to Mexico or somewhere. Or Zambia.
You were talking about Zambia last year. Yeah. Before when we were talking. But yeah, like it's interesting. But I do like that for you. That it makes me feel like what you're saying, what I'm hearing from what you're saying is that you're settled in the change that can occur here for you, and the growth that can occur here for you.
Yeah, and in who I am.
Yeah.
A little bit more. I think I'm more settled in who I am.
Okay.
I definitely feel like being stronger in my faith and finding a home in my church has helped with me just feeling a bit more purposeful and less kind of like
having to find that purpose.
Yeah, like I'm just bored. I'm gonna, like when you're bored, sometimes you can be a little bit impulsive, or you might just do certain things and you're like, why am I doing that? And it's just like out of boredom or frustration or feeling a little bit lost. But I would say that I definitely don't feel that as much anymore. I feel like I've got more of a sense of direction, and I think it's very important. Like if you're not sure about life or what your calling is, what your purpose is, I think finding a home in God first, but just even just in people as well. I think having just a community where you feel like you can open up and share certain things, it really does help with loneliness. And I think that's what I was struggling with for a while without realizing. So I guess the idea of just upping and leaving to a new country was like, it's an adventure, it's exciting, I'm gonna meet new people, like, my friends, and it's still a possibility,
do you know what I mean, to kind of, maybe it's not an up and leave, but it's more like a go in there for a while,
just
and then
to
come
see,
just like a holiday type of vibe, and then see when you're out there, okay, maybe I might do this or that. Do you get what I mean? There? It's not necessarily like a dead thing, because I know something you've spoken about for years, but then at the same time it's like knowing, like you said, like having that stability here of like that will help you be more discerning in your choice.
100%. Yeah, because when sometimes like I still have that curiosity that might pop up here and there, so sometimes you do just need to do things to know, actually I really don't think this is for me, right? Whereas if you just think, I've got my mind made up, it's all good, then it's like you haven't really taken that leap, and it's like you'll never know. True. So it's just discerning like what is good. But I think it's like reflecting and taking time to prepare is important as well. Yeah. Would you say you're quite excited about some of the things to come? Like,
so for me, the change is that, do you know what? I was nervous. One thing I've realized for me is not to shade people. I'm not shading anyone.
It's all right. Throw that shade if you're going to throw it.
When I'm speaking, I'm thinking to myself, who's going to be listening?
Yeah, don't worry. If the shoe fits.
You know. Yeah.
If it's you, we're talking to, it's you.
Like, it's no one in particular. It's no one in particular. But it's just in the sense of like, well, there's people, but it's no one specifically. But it's like the role that I'm moving into, I've had different comments, negative and positive. about the situation, not me in the situation, but just the situation itself. And at first I was like, it was kind of an impulsive thing, and I was a little bit worried and nervous. A part of me was feeling a bit like shaken, because when I went to Thailand,
yes,
I haven't even told that many people this. I did tell you this though, I think. I got a prophecy, essentially.
Oh yes,
yeah, I did.
What was it, like a palm reading thing?
No,
just
I don't
like
do
somebody.
No, so basically, like, what did you do?
Yeah, what did you do? What voodoo?
What were you? I know. No,
God forbid. Yeah. Who's this person? No.
But yeah, it was. So I went to like a Buddhist temple as one of the tour guide things, and in the temple they had these like sticks where you can like shake them. So I started shaking. Well, no, the tour guide was just like to us, oh, it's kind of like a thing that you can do in relation to like knowing your prophecy or like your future and stuff. And I was just like, oh, that's quite cute. It's cool. Here's me being like, oh, I'll give it a try. She was like, I didn't want to try it. Everyone was like, no.
I'm on holiday.
Like, why not? Let me try something new. So I started, what you have to do is you have to shake this pot, and a stick comes out with a number on it. Then you match the number to a ticket that you get, and that's got the prophecy. So I'm shaking. Nothing's moving on the sticks are not moving. So I'm thinking, do I need to? And
shake it harder.
One lady was shaking, but it seemed like ages. And she kept on getting lots coming out. And they're like, no, it needs to be. At one point, one literally started rising for me. I said, oh, that's my one.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. And then I give it to the lady. She gets to the ticket thing. She takes out the ticket. She starts reading. What can I use as an example? Like my phone, yeah. This woman is like this. Reading.
Oh.
And I'm thinking to myself,
so she's like looking up.
She's looking up.
Girl.
Then she's looking at the paper.
There's something wrong.
She's looking up at me. Then she's looking at the paper. And I said,
no.
if it's bad news, I'm making a joke. I'm making light. If it's bad news, you can just tell me. It's fine. I'm good. And she was just like, it's not good. I say,
oh no. You're like, I didn't mean that. I was just, She's like, it is bad news, girl. Like, oh no. Yeah.
And then basically she was just like, to me, she kind of gave me the like summarized version in a nice way.
Good.
So she was just like, when it comes to work, take your time with your choices. And I was just like, really? Okay, that's interesting. That's weird.
Yeah.
So it was just, obviously, it was oblivious to me. I was just like, okay, whatever. And then she was just like, when it comes to your health, just make sure you just take care of yourself, whatever. So I'm thinking to myself, health and work. Hey, okay. No fire against, what's the scripture? No, I don't even know the scripture. Oh my God. Even God can't save me now.
Evil will not prosper.
It will not prosper.
That's just what came to mind. Evil will not prosper. You're protected.
What's formed against me shall not succeed.
Yeah, that's it. I think the word is, I think there's prosper in there. I'm sure the word prosper is used.
I need to read my Bible. Anyway, I was just
no judgments on M&M talks.
So I was just like, I just took it lightly. I even said, I'm not going to, I don't think I told one soul when I got back to London for ages.
Yeah.
And then I told Keith, she's my best friend. And then I think I told you as well. And I was just like, but I'm not really going to take it too deep. Because you know one thing about words, if you take them on, you can then live into them.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's something that I'm definitely like not exercising that at all.
Yeah.
But when I had this like decision to change, I thought, is this in relation to this? Do you get what I mean? Like, is it because of this? And people coming with their like negative comments about the situation. I was thinking, oh my gosh, what have I done? But then I had to really just take time to kind of reflect on myself and think, this is ultimately going to be a good move for me. It's going to help me grow as a person.
Yeah, it's your journey.
It is.
It's your journey, babe, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of you.
Thank you,
I'm
babe.
so proud of you because I remember when you were first getting your job as well. And like, the growth is amazing.
Oh.
And it's
I don't even realise that I've grown, but you keep on saying this. So
that's the thing. Like,
yeah.
It's interesting because sometimes we don't realize it. We're used to looking at our faces all day, every day. We're used to just being in this body, like in this soul, and it's when someone else can look at you and see certain things and just speak that out. It's like, it's almost like this affirmation. Like the growth is mad. Like it's amazing. So don't let other people discourage you from that. From this new chapter because it's exciting. And it is interesting though, because I do feel like sometimes when you're on a new chapter, it's interesting who comes out of the woodwork. Do you know what I mean? Like some sort of creature to be like, you know,
I'm here.
Malunga, I don't think that's a good idea. You know, it's like,
where did you come from? You haven't been here the whole time.
Thank you. Where have you been? But you want to pipe up now.
But to be fair, I was asking what I was telling people. That's the thing. Some people would say like, don't tell your good news. And I actually don't believe that. I think you should share your good news.
Oh, interesting. Because I don't think you should.
Really?
All right. So why don't you? Okay.
No, you go first. Why don't you think you?
Okay. Oh, Mimi. I think it's so important to protect certain things. And if you have good news, it's still like, it's almost like it's still, you know, it's still cooking a little bit. And if you share it or overshare it, it's like certain people have like, I do feel like a bad spirit or energy, or they just project their, you know, they haven't got to a place yet where they can project more love and like not their issues or their fear or their anger. So you could share that and be in a really good mood. And then they say something and you just think,
you down.
Why
true.
Negative Nick? Why negative Nancy? You know, why?
Why? Nancy needs to go home.
Don't rain on my parade.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's true.
And I've had that experience, which is why I think I'm like more protective now. When something is cooking or like there's some good news, I do keep it to myself a little bit for a while, but not too long. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to share it, especially when I feel like it's fully confirmed. But why would you say that you say think you should?
For me, it's more like, I've heard that before as well. Like, what is it called? Something eye. When somebody has, I don't know.
Evil eye. Like
evil
the evil eye.
Yeah. I've heard that before. And like, for me, I just think like, if the one thing that I do enjoy when I have like good news or good things to share is the celebrating with people.
Yeah, the celebration.
And it's actually nice. And I feel like
it's true.
Naturally, I feel like as it's sad that we do have this world where we feel like people bring us down when we have good things, and it should be an uplifting. And maybe I'm in a delusion as well.
No,
but like I'm in delusionville at this
point. This is for me. Like this is helpful. Because
sometimes it is like, I think it's good to have understanding or decide who is the person or who are the people that I'm going to share this with.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And being selective in that way. But then also like when you celebrate and when people can celebrate you as well, it feels like that achievement. It feels like an acknowledgement of yourself, and it's almost like a feeding into yourself as well. That's why I do like to share my good news, and I like it when people share their good news with me, because I feel like very happy and joyful for them. But it's true, like it is kind of like, it makes me think of when we were doing public acts, and we would have like moments where people would share their good stories and we would celebrate, you know.
That's true.
And it is like a form of like love, like giving love to that space, and it's nice. Like I think like there's sometimes it's good to kind of find spaces or people or your tribe that you can share those
open
things
up
with.
to in that way.
Yeah,
that's true. And actually it's like whatever's for you is for you.
Yeah,
you just like saying that has made me think,
it will not go against
you. It's for you. So even though like, let's say I have this good news and I'm being so protective over it, it's like you don't need to be too paranoid or protective over it. You can just embracing that.
I get what you're saying in that sense of like knowing that like who
to share it with.
If they're negative, it can bring you down, and then you forget about the fact that this is good news. Do you get what I mean?
It's true.
So it is, and especially when it's cooking. It makes you start thinking about like, oh, what if this happens, or what if that happens, or what if it doesn't? Do you get what I mean?
That's it.
So,
I guess it's a balance.
It's a balance.
It's a balance. I think it's a balance. 100%. But I love sharing stuff with you, and like the way we celebrate each other is so important. I love that for like my friends, family, and for us, like and even just, I mean, the journey of this podcast and us.
It's true.
It's been a change for us.
I know, and I see the shift in you as well in many ways. Like I see, like not even just in the podcast, but in many things. Like as I've known you, like grown in so many ways, and like I always look to you for like inspiration. Like you always inspire me in many ways, and like not just in the creative space, but just how you are as an individual. Like you have a space of, how can I describe, like knowing yourself, you know what I mean, in spaces, and like you come as you are and like proud in who you are. Do you get what I mean? And that's like such a powerful place to move from, and it's such a like it is, because it's inspiring, and it's also like it's helpful to like me to understanding like how I want to move is like in that way as well. So I always like look to you and think, oh, do you know, yeah, that's my girl. I'm so proud of you in many ways.
I'm proud of you too, and I receive it. I think we inspire each other, and I love being around people that inspire me to like dream more, work harder, but then also rest. You know, just all them things there where you're like,
it's true, don't forget to rest.
Don't forget to rest. Like you can be chasing the dream, but don't forget to rest. And it's just the fact that we're on this journey with the podcast as well, with Eminem Talks. We've come, you know, there's so much that is brought out in us that I think is really good. And there's so much that we've been learning as well, guys, that it's like we're just continuing to just improve and like look at things.
What do you feel like you've learned in this journey, or like in your space of change? Like, what do you think are things that you've like have helped you learn and grow as a person in that sense?
I would say embrace the change. Embrace the change. Don't be shy. Don't be scared. And don't let those past versions of self or those like negative thoughts come in where it's like, you can't do this, you're not ready, or like, why you? No, if the opportunity has presented itself, it means that you were ready for it. Like it's for you. So don't shy away from rising up and like those opportunities, and embrace the change, and joyfully as well. Like like this weekend even, I was just thinking, my mindset, approach it with just joy and happiness and fun, and like celebrate it, because when you do that, it just teaches you to enjoy the process. You don't have to be scared of the process. Enjoy it.
It's true.
So
it's true. I agree.
What would you say?
For me, two things. I would say one is like similar to what you're saying, like leaning into that process. And also kind of finding spaces. It's interesting when you said about like not allowing your past self to kind of predict who you are now, or to dictate what you're going to do now. I think for me, it's like also finding spaces or time or things that help me heal my past self as well. Because I know that for me personally, I feel like I've got a lot of bent up drama.
There's a lot in the bag.
Not that I've got baggage.
Yeah.
It's just a few items.
Yeah, few items. In the basket.
They need to be reclaimed.
Yeah. Self-service.
But yeah, so like I think writing a letter to my younger self always helped. And that's something that I've done. I haven't done it recently, but something I've done before. Maybe we could do that.
And like, could be our homework.
Like writing letters to our younger self, and that's helped me kind of heal my younger self in many ways, and heal like, because I do have moments of like insecurity and moments of like overthinking, and all those things happen naturally, and it's things that I've held for a long time. So it's like it's time to kind of, I'm going to have to catch myself out when it comes to making sure that I'm not doing that anymore. So I think having spaces where I can actively do something that's intentional, like writing that letter, helps me kind of put aside what has made me have those decisions on myself, or that perception on myself. And also like it's made me like being aware of like how I'm teaching people how to treat me is like very important, because I love that. It's like just, I mean, it's like, and the thing is, I can go into a space of like over analyzing, but like just analyzing how I want people to teach me in that sense.
And what you're giving out as well is we don't realize it, like even the way you talk to yourself, because sometimes I've tried to stop kind of saying certain things like, I can just be like that, or I can just, it's like, no, like don't like talk to yourself kindly, because we are teaching people how to treat us. And if you just disregard yourself, or just like, you know, make a mockery out of yourself as well. Like one thing I've realized, and I remember like this experience with friends, just feeling like you're allowed to change, because sometimes you have those older relationships and people are just so used to you being
how
a certain
you were
way.
before. Yeah,
they're like no longer like, no, you're the girl that does this, or like you're always like,
do you know what, that happens a lot with family?
Oh my god,
it happens a lot with family, because they know you, they've known you from day one, and I'm like, day one, age 3 Mwila or whatever is not the same Mwila as
from this year. This year's Mwila has evolved. You know what I mean? Like,
I hope I've evolved. You know,
of course,
exactly,
of course, we're always changing.
Exactly.
I think more people need to allow that. You need to allow yourself to see people with fresh eyes as well.
True,
like,
it's true.
Don't just hold them to their past or assume that you know them. Like, sometimes you have to relearn someone or get to know them again. Like, if you. And certain experiences in life really change you.
Yeah.
So I think it's very interesting when you see that. And we do teach people
how we want to be treated.
Yeah.
In many senses. So just being aware of that is very, very like it's partial in when like when you're kind of maneuvering in life. In many senses.
100%.
Yeah. Because if you want somebody to be like respectful of you, then also you have to kind of find that
respect yourself.
Exactly, it's
respect
true.
yourself. Respect yourself. That's what we're going to be saying. Do you respect yourself? Ask yourself that question. I feel like
that auntie.
Do you know what I mean? Oh my god!
But then in that sense of like, just like, and obviously people, there's not everything is the same everywhere, but in that sense, it's like finding ways to kind of give yourself what you need first. Yeah. And then allowing that to be seen by others, and then they will give that to you as well. Yeah. You know? Because if you're there, if I'm feeling like, people are like, not disrespecting, but taking advantage of like my time or whatever, am I appreciating myself and my time and how I move? And maybe I'm not. Do you get what I mean? And so people see that, they see how I'm treating myself, and so they think, oh,
it's okay to be late.
You. It's okay for me. Exactly.
Yeah, it's okay to be late because she's not that bothered anyway. It's like, no, I am bothered. I am bothered.
Yeah. And you have to be brave in many ways to do that too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited though. I'm excited for the changes that are happening in both our lives. Yeah. And
I hope that like everyone out there, like if you're having any change as well, like definitely finding that space of like knowing the people who are going to help you along that journey or be with you on that journey as well. Yeah, it's like so important.
And it'll be good to hear actually. You guys feel free to we were saying between us, feel free to comment and share with us your stories of change and what's going on with you, because we're like a family. And it's just so nice to have, even just to catch up with you, because it feels like it's been a while since like us two have just sat down. I know, and had a little chat.
Our own time.
Do you know what I mean? Quality time.
I missed you.
I missed you as well. But quality time, I think, is so important. So
I agree.
Yeah, we needed to fit it in. And of course, we'll be back with more
to come. Yeah. So this has been.
It's been great.
It's been amazing.
Thanks for listening. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
We have been M&M Talks.